What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome, 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 everybody to the Lore Games.
Yay.
What's up, MK? How you doing, Jim? Nice to see you. We're here on our normal time of 8-something o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
Now, are we loring tonight, or are we nerd denning, or are we just doing whatever we want?
Well, we can probably do a little bit of both. So the way that I think where we are in lore games right now is so most of my personal creative energy time right now is in this partnership that we have going on with WAGMI Games. I'm drawing the comic book for them. We've been posting some really cool, started to post anyway, some really cool images on Twitter.
Dope preview.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. And it's a really cool partnership. There's a lot of things. So I'm helping them with the comic, and they're going to be actually promoting adult fantasy with some other things. This is a genuine partnership, and I'm stoked about it because it's going to be really cool. Those guys, I love that team very much. They're genuinely good people, in my opinion.
Yep.
So they're good people. So so that's where my creative energy has been. So it's hard for me to kind of help generate story concepts. With that said, lore games is, and we should talk about, I definitely want to bring this up. We could talk about a little bit about this, like kind of the future of lore games. If we move into Nerd Den, that's totally cool too, whatever. But one of the things that I'm thinking about for the next phase of lore games is, so after the WAGMI book is out, the plan for the summer, so in terms of adult fantasy stuff, we have the WAGMI book. We have we started to do interviews for Web3 Comic-Con because that comes back this summer, which is awesome.
Damn, already. That's
it's coming back. I know, man. So get ready, Doc, because you know you're a future.
my
guest.
masterclass in sexy.
That's right, sexy masterclass, Web3 sexy, Web3 sex 3, Web3 sexy, Web3 sex E. I don't know. Anyway, that didn't work. So
Sex,
No, you
the
tried.
E in sex is a 3.
it's a 3. There you go. You got it. I knew there's something there.
Maybe.
WAGMI game comic, Web3 Comic-Con is coming up, so we're doing interviews for that. We're going to be doing a lot of people on the Ordinal side this year, which is really cool. Of course, we're going to have some friends and people from last year and some new people from ETH and all that kind of stuff. And then one of the big projects we're doing for the summer is I really think we need to. We're moving into discovery content. So one of the things that I talk about a lot, you know, we spent really 2022 and most of 2023 kind of at the connector founder level. So Web3 Comic-Con is essentially. I mean, for me personally, it was a way to sort of meet a lot of people, going to these conventions, Doc, with you and Dusty, like meeting and connecting and kind of building your own personal network, right?
Yep.
Most of that, however, is on the founder, builder, people who are inside of Web3, right? It's what it's not good at is discovery for your own unique project. It can help because when you're ready to launch something, you now have a row of partners who some of whom will be willing to like help and share and kind of bring their own communities to it, right? Just like we would do for other people. But what is that? Oh, Avery's coming back. But now I think is the time to really work on that, on the core audience, long-term fan base of what it is that we create. And so the way in which I think we should try to do that, I think the perfect avenue is animation on YouTube, like an animated show through YouTube. I've been thinking about this for, really since AF started, and just couldn't figure out how to do it in a way that would work given the limitations of budget, time, production, because animation is not cheap, it is not fast. So fortunately, there's been a lot of amazing technological things that have happened the last couple of years, specifically the way that AI has now impacted animation. I've got some friends who actually build software in the animation space, and they're using AI to shortcut a lot of things and simplify a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it is badass. Like, it's like, okay, like this is actually, we might be able to do this on a shoestring budget and do something really cool and have something that comes out, maybe once a week or maybe once a month, right? Like, but regularly on a recurring basis, the continuity just really able to push. So that I'm very excited about. And I think the way that lore games can fit into that is, I think, yes, we have novels coming out. Yes, we have games coming out. Yes, we have campaigns and all this kind of stuff coming out of lore games. But once we've created those stories like we have, it takes time to produce. It takes time for Zach to come up and write a novel. We came up with a really cool idea for Cobalt Fox. We've come up with a really cool idea called The Heist, what we've talked about. I think Ramel was the seed of that idea.
Yeah.
And now it's time to produce those things, right? But to produce those is, I mean, if I draw The Heist, it's going to take a year. Like, it's a full year to do, right? I don't mind doing it. Any story we come up with is fair game. We pick and choose what we want to spend our time on, and we can rock it. We can kick its ass. But while the stuff is being produced, whether it's written in a novel, produced as a game campaign, or moved into a graphic novel comic series, that means lore games still has to function, and we still have to do stuff with it, right? And I think the thing that is going to work really well is that recurring animated series where we can come in every week and come up with the content and kind of play characters and talk a lot of shit, which is something we all love and we're all good at. And we can use our shit talking session in the lore games to kind of create next week's episode or next month's episode or whatever, however long it's going to take us to do an episode. So that is sort of the path that I see us moving forward inside of lore games, definitely towards animation. I'm actively working on it, just real high level stuff right now, like pre-production, because obviously my production time is with WAGMI for the moment. But it's going to be great. It's pure adult fantasy. It's going to be a springboard for all of our characters and all of our ideas. And I think that'll directly feed into building an audience, a sustainable audience, and a way for us to have an outlet for all the stuff that we want to make. Does that make sense? What do you guys think about it?
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, it won't take you a year to draw The Heist.
Bro, if it's like 6 issues,
It's not a 6-issue story. It's 48 pages.
you think it's 48? It could be 48 pages.
It's 48 pages.
All right, fine. 48 pages is like 5-6 months. Well, let's see. I'm averaging right now with WAGMI. I'm now at about 3 days a page. It takes me about, it takes me about 2 days a page. So I'm doing 3 pages a week. So it's about 6 days of work, and I'm doing about 3 pages a week. So what is that? About 12 weeks-ish? Well, no. What is that? I'm terrible at math here. Dusty.
Right. What are you on?
3 pages a week, 48 pages total. How many weeks?
Yeah,
is it?
it's a. You can do The
72.
Heist.
How
Yeah,
many?
72.
72 weeks. Great, thanks, Dusty. Appreciate it.
The Heist is a 48 to 60 page story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's elements we can hone and kind of.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're looking at about 4 to 5 months, I think,
Yeah.
based on what Avery thinks. And I think he's right. I think you both guys are both right. I think we can chisel it out and make it like a 48 to 60
Yeah.
page story.
There's a little bit of like spaghetti at the wall kind
Todd,
of stuff there.
who said it was a comic book creator that says don't screw with the product, screw with the format, do something different. There's a quote out there, I forget who said it. I don't think it may have been Jeff Smith or somebody,
Or Paul Pope.
or Paul Pope or something, where he said don't try to rethink the comic, rethink the presentation of the comic. What if you did something, one of the things that we love, and maybe I'm just talking to us in here in the room, but we all love the large, oversized 11 by 17, art books.
Oh yeah.
What if you did a 48-page 11 by 17 book?
Oh shit. Well, don't you think so? That's pretty cool. I wonder though, and totally up for debate. I mean, yes, I would love that. That's fucking awesome. But do you think that it might be better? So one of the things that I have been thinking about, and I think I might ask some of these crowdfunding comic artists because I'm genuinely curious. And Avery's pretty much into this. So Avery, you might know the answer to this. Like most of the way that the crowdfunding scene has gone when they're crowdfunding comics, when they're crowdfunding stories, let's just say, because it's not just comics, it's also books and the crowdfunding scene, right?
Yeah.
When they're crowdfunding a project, they usually opt for those perfect bound books, meaning if it's a 48-page comic, for let's say, or a 60-page comic, it all comes out at once, and it's almost like a mini graphic novel, right? It's like it's got, it's completely self-contained.
It's a prestige form because people are paying premium prices for this product. People want something about the product to be premium presentation. That's why perfect bound's a thing. Ethan, it's chromium covers.
I see. So
that makes it premium presentation. So that's the reason the perfect bound is so popular, is because it's a prestige format book. Like when you bought Jungle Adventure. Jungle Adventure, that's prestige format. Blood, those books when they originally came out from Epic were perfect bound comics.
Right.
When they were re-released at Vertigo, they were stapled. They were saddle stitched books.
Just
prestige format.
This is what Avery's talking about. So this is one story as an example. One story. This is the only place to find it. It was top to bottom. This was the story, and it's not a comic book. It's actually a perfect bound book.
Yeah.
So like Alien Salvation is one.
And when people are doing comics, and they do things like 2-page spreads, if you're doing something for presentation in a perfect bound book, not talking about a collected trade, which looks the same, but it's not. 2-page spreads, if your book is meant to be presented as perfect bound or hardback or something like that, 2-page spreads don't work, in my opinion.
In perfect bound.
In perfect bound or in hardback, they don't work.
Why is that?
Is it because there's too much of a break in the?
You can't lay it flat. It works great in a regular comic, in a regular floppy, in saddle stitch, where you lay it flat and look at it. But in a perfect bound book, I think if that's your presentation, that's the presentation that it's meant to be seen as. I don't think 2-page spreads work.
Interesting. I hadn't really thought about that.
That's a floppy thing.
So,
that's a floppy superhero thing.
Right. Well, okay, that's fair. In my opinion, the reason I ask is because I was like, well, if we were to do a 60-page book, right? Let's say it's the heist, 60 pages. Like, what would be a cooler presentation? And this is for everybody because it's all about presentation. Like,
it all depends. Do you want a floppy with a cool like metallic cover? Is that your prestige presentation?
Here's what I was thinking. My question, because so the question is, and let me grab it. Well, you guys can use your imagination, but basically, I question. I think if you're going to do 48 or 60 pages and put it all together, I think it has to be like this. Like you have to have it as a book. I think
unless your presentation is a cover,
it's
something like a chromium or metallic.
It's very hard. I mean, I have Cyberfrog #1, and it's really hard to read only because it's such a beautiful object and it's so fat because of all those pages that it's hard to read to me. And it's not a knock on the art or the writing. It's just that it's so beautiful, you don't want to fuck it up. And it's also so thick, it's kind of hard to turn the pages. It's like, because I usually hold comics and read them, but that's just me. It's a Todd thing. With that said, though, I was like, well, what if the options were a prestige format, perfect bound book, or like a complete set of like 3 comics where part of the thing is you got issue 1, 2, and 3, and it was special covers, fine. But each book was like your normal 20-page book, and you actually got a set, like you got mailed 3 books, right?
Yeah.
And I know the printing cost on that would be higher because you actually have a lower print run across 3 different comics, which I'm wondering if that's the reason they don't do this. But to me, and maybe also because those guys are
also writing it's going to be paced a little different.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
you've got to pace it for 20 pages at a time. And if you write the story for all in one go, the pacing can be a little different.
What do you guys think?
That's like publishing the issues in the trade at the same time.
Right. Well, I'm also thinking like you could, if you publish, the other thing is if you published it as issues, then that would open you up to being able to do another campaign where you publish it as prestige, do another campaign where it's maybe hardbound, do another campaign to Andrew's thing where it's like, here's the artist edition.
Yeah.
That's kind of the life cycle of these.
Yeah, you can do that. You can totally do that. You can do that. Here's issues 1 through 3 and do like metallic covers or something.
Like
something to make it more than just a run-of-the-mill floppy.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
But I'm thinking, I don't know why, but do you remember when I was working on Cornerstone and I had gotten several issues in the can, and it was actually you that advised me and says, why publish it as individual issues? You've already got the first trade. Just do it as a graphic novel. What I'm thinking is, why publish it as a comic or a trade or a graphic novel when ultimately you want to do like an artist edition? Why not the artist edition be the goal from the get-go? I don't know. In my mind,
the prices would be insane.
I know, but I would love to collect artist editions of things.
I love artist editions.
You got to build an audience first.
Yeah, well,
and those big stapled floppies that are printed the same size like they did with that Brian Stelfreeze book. They've done it with Walking Dead.
Yep.
Those are unruly. And imagine shipping those, how screwed up those would get.
Oh, I know.
You would eat. I mean, it would eat your ass up with returns and having to make good on the damaged copies.
Those are cool, but they're not collectible. You know what I mean?
Say, we talked to Tommy Lee Edwards not too long ago. I wonder if I could reach out to him somehow. I don't have his direct contact info, but I wonder if I could reach out to him somehow, because he did do that. Tommy Lee would know all the production stuff. He did it for John Leon's book.
Yeah,
I wouldn't worry about that at an artist edition at all until you have a big enough audience.
That's true. Because look, you gotta you want single issues. You want to take them to conference and put them on the WAGME thing, right? Hand them out, right? It's not all just going to be people purchasing. This is also promo as well.
Right.
Wait, that's my phone. Shit, you could do it. You could do if you want.
How do you have a phone in space?
Cool, you could do an ash can, like a very limited fun ash can, man.
That's right. That's true. MK says, loved when you did the covers for the comics on the NFTs. Thanks, man. Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I really think this coming, give us 6 months. I want those comics to be physical. Like, I'm okay with going back and getting those comics, like Avery's book and our covers, and making those physical and going ahead and giving, people who are holders, give those, access to those, right? Do a sale for holders. And then have maybe another cover that's for people who are not holders, so that holders have a special cover. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Is like we already have kind of a stack of comics growing. They're just digital, and I'm starting to jones for the physical. MK also says artist edition sounds awesome, and to be honest, this project has been very focused on the quality of the art and the collectibles, so it's not out of scope. Very true for the artist editions. Very true. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Get the audience built up big enough so you have enough people who are going to plop down 150, 200 bucks a pop.
They're going to be costly.
Yeah, they're going to be very costly. Like the heist, instead of doing, say it's a 60-page story, do it as 3 issues, 3 different releases.
I will say also, in support of an artist edition, but in an artist edition not at the very beginning, is that artist editions are usually reserved not just for black and white artwork, but for the story that really hits the best. So, for instance,
aren't artist editions like premium for the premium collector that's willing to pay the big bucks?
Well, so you're thinking, didn't Sean Gordon Murphy, isn't that what he did or something? Like kind of have a special tier where it's just a black and white version. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
I don't know.
No. Well, one of the things I had thought about doing, that I had planned to do, is my first Crom book was going to be magazine size and magazine format, very similar to the Savage Swords of Conan.
I love that.
But honestly, if I do something that big, why not just do it as a artist edition type thing? Because I'm planning for every single page to be a piece of art for that book, because there's going to be a lot of pinups, a lot of splash pages and stuff like that. And I'm thinking now, why not just go to the artist edition format? Which begs the question, Avery, for an artist edition book or one of those large, oversized hardback book, what is the minimum page count would make you interested? 120?
It's got to it's got to be. I don't know how much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't have very many of them to base this on.
I've seen here's something that combines.
You're just talking about doing a large format. You know, I wouldn't even call that an artist edition if that's the way the book is being presented.
Well, the idea is that all the pages would be shot from the original art. It would not be like clean up and all that stuff. It would be completely, shot from the originals.
I got to agree with Avery here. Who's going to pay for that right now? Right now, the name of the game is distribution, it's presence building, and things like that, right? So
I will say, go ahead, Dusty.
Yeah. I mean, we're also thinking about this in terms of the traditional comic space where $200 or $300 is a lot of money. But we also have proprietary tech and digital collectible assets where $300 is not very much money. So I could certainly see
true
a bundle where you get both the digital part of it and the physical part of it. And suddenly $200 or $300 is not as much money when there's digital.
Yeah. I guess what I'm getting at is if we have to, or you would have to alter the design for a larger format just to make something cool, when what you also really want to be doing is printing physical copies that you can be handing out and giving out and mailing off and doing that as much, you're adding extra work at the very beginning that you don't necessarily need to, when right now it should be really about promoting the brand as widely as you can. That's my opinion. But I do think making something special for people would be cool. But if you've got to totally revamp the entire format to do it, that could be problematic. Just trying to be a little realist about it.
I think, MK has a great comment, and I'll show it in a second. But the way that you could also do this to kind of bridge the gap would be when Andrew talks about page count, there have been black and white comics that are artist edition comic books that it's like the Pencils to Ultimates #1 or something, where you pick the first issue of the book and there are the pencils, and maybe it's double fat and you have the pencils and the inks. So you could do a comic like that, or a magazine or whatever. Then I've seen an oversized edition that was kind of like an artist edition. I want to say it was like 2 issues, or 3 issues. I don't think it was 1, but I could be mistaken, and I can't even remember. I don't own it, so I can't remember what that was for, but I think it was a DC book, probably like a Jim Lee thing. And then I have an absolute ton of artist edition books, and I think those are minimum 6 to 8 issues, usually, I think, right? You want to have at least 6 issues, and then if it's 6 issues, then there's some pinups or covers or the scripting or something like that. The Chris Somney Daredevil one is really cool because it's actually 2 books. It's the first book is his black and white original artwork because he owns it all, so it's all of his pages. And the second book is a thinner book that's not hardbound, It's a floppy. It's a perfect bound prestige format book, but it's his scripting and his layouts. It's the layouts for the entire issue. So if it's like a 6-issue book, you have all the writing, the scripting, the layouts, and the finals. You have the entire process.
That's cool.
Like in one bound thing, which is pretty fucking dope.
That is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Totally agree.
But you also have to have. I do agree. You have to have fan base. Is it verboten to do just the cover and leave the comic itself as digital? MK, do you mean like to print the cover? I'm not really totally sure. Like a book of just the covers. I'm not totally sure what that means. If you just did the cover by itself, it would be a print, which is totally fine.
It could be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, we absolutely should do prints. That is not that is not something.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Full size 11x17, like metallic prints or something.
Yeah,
like there's this one company I used to use for fine art prints because so much of my artwork is digital. I was using this company called MPix. So they were printing on archival photographic paper.
Yep.
And one of the types of paper they printed on was a metallic photographic Fuji paper. And dude, that shit, I used to have like 20 by 30 prints done. That shit looks badass.
Yeah, I got an NFT printed off on, it was aluminum, right, by this company in Europe. And it looks so good. Like the colors are super vivid. It captured everything. And it's just got like a nice kind of gloss to it a little bit. It looks really good too. That could be something really cool, man. Doing covers, variant covers. So you can hang on the wall.
Limited edition prints.
So
MK says, just the print that people pay for, yes. So access to the comic is still via the digital NFT. So he's saying keep the comic digital, like let people access it purely digital, but then sell the print separately. Totally doable. That's absolutely doable. Now, what do you feel about that? Let's go down. That's a cool rabbit hole. Like, what if you sold the prints, but the comic was still pure digital, and maybe it was just a collected edition. So, for instance, let's say you had issue. Let's say we're doing the heist, and the heist is 60 pages for simple math. Okay.
Or it could be broke up into 3 issues.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just say the total page count is 60 pages. Okay. Well, you got to get to page 20 before you get to page 40 before you get to page 60. Right. So what if you got to page 20 and wrapped it up and sold it as a digital NFT, a digital collectible, and then got to issue 2 and finished issue 2 and sold that as a digital collectible, and then did issue 3, got that to page 60, sold that as a digital collectible. Right.
Yeah.
So those people have special items, maybe supported by prints or something, so people can get physical items too. I think that I really like the idea of tying some kind of physical with the digital, right? And then for the campaign, you either have the campaign for the physical either be only prestige format, or if you really wanted to do 3 comics, I guess you could do it with different covers. But it seems like it would be more fitting to do just prestige as the crowd thing.
Sure.
Right?
That could be cool.
So to kind of I think eventually we want some kind of version of the comic in print because it's just easier to read. And people like holding things. But
with the digital issues, include a physical copy of the book, but do like a Alterna style floppy.
Oh, right. Yeah. So for those that don't know, an Alterna style floppy is, so Alterna is a fantastic company. What they do is they print almost like old school 80s and 90s style comics. So it's on newsprint. So the comics are not quote unquote high quality prestige, but they're legit like old school comic books.
Yeah. And their issues are like they're like $1.50 on the newsstand.
Yeah.
Well, in the comic shop, they instead of being like $5 for your standard issue from Marvel or DC for a lot of stuff, their books are like $1.50, $1.25.
Yeah, super.
That actually is not a bad idea.
You get a regular old school floppy, and your NFT or what has the variants as far as chromium, glow in the dark, whatever. You get the digital comic, the NFT, and an old school style floppy,
which is what we all want anyway. Like it looks. I have them. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Yeah. Dig out some Alterna books. I think Peter Samedi and Alterna is fantastic. I love what they do. They have a wide range of stuff that they're publishing, from books that are meant for little kids to more mature stuff like superhero stuff, sci-fi stuff, horror.
I literally have this right next to me because I was looking at this.
Yeah,
I have a stack of print options that I like.
I love what Alterna does, and because Alterna only charges like $1.25, $1.50 for one of their comics, you pick it up, you try it. If you don't like it, no big deal. You didn't spend $5 to $8 like a lot of mainstream books these days, and it sucked. It was a $1.50. Who cares?
So this is an Alterna book, right? So you can see it has a little bit of a shine on the cover. It's $1.50. I mean, it's a legit old school comic. So even the print on the inside, like these guys are doing fades, which is a little weird to do on newsprint, but you can see like the paper quality is that old school 90s comic.
It's actually a better newsprint, but it is newsprint.
Yeah,
it's actually higher quality newsprint than what we had in the 80s and 90s.
For sure. And I think the only challenge that people have is they don't know they have to learn how to color on it.
That's what I was gonna say. How's the color process on when you're doing?
People are using modern coloring with it, and it's doing okay.
Yeah, it's okay. The only thing that I see on it is like the blacks aren't solid as solid black as the old 90s books, but that also is, I mean, it's like, I mean, only I would notice kind of a thing, or maybe Andrew or Avery, but like, and I also wonder if it's just the issue that I got, right? Because different print runs, like
a lot of them are like that.
This might have been towards the end of the run, right? And like all of a sudden you're getting, but it's straight up like legit, like an old legitimate comic.
Have you seen their collected trades?
I have not. No.
I have Scrimshaws.
Oh, nice.
Because I backed the second Scrimshaw, I got it all at once before the issues came out, and it came in a trade that's actually slightly smaller and perfect bound.
Can you show it?
No, I can't show it.
You have a camera.
Dude, you know what would be fun if we went that route would be, remember how just, I don't know, like ridiculous and audacious, like the ads were in the 90s in comic books. Like,
oh, they were great.
The kid holding the Nintendo controller's hair would be all spiked up and blown away. It'd be like shitty smoke, you know, just like
can do all
that kind of stuff. Like do some fake ads in the book,
great,
you know, just to like really kick it off with that whole like style.
Yeah,
I think that could be a lot of fun.
100%.
You can even do real ads for other projects.
Well, true enough, just in that style, though. I mean, you know, I mean, like that's like
we would have put an ad in your comic. Okay, make it look like an old Nintendo ad. Make it look like an old ad for like sea monkeys.
That's right.
That's what MK just
more cool. X-ray glasses, sea monkeys.
Yeah.
And then MK says, issue I see in this case might be logistics. The shipping can take a huge chunk. So the way you get around shipping is that shipping, a lot of these platforms have bake in the shipping, depending on where you are in the world, whether it's domestic or foreign. And then the way that shipping works is, let me show you. Oh. So when you order something, you basically get like a little container. This is a
Gemini mailer.
And basically, when you open it up, it's a cardboard insert. And so your comics or your book sits right in there. And so you put the comics that have backing boards in here, or whether it's perfect bound or just comics, just put them up like that. And then this folds over. And it's totally protected. Like it's like really nice. And so yes, you're paying for weight and you're paying for shipping, but that sort of ends up being
you build that into the cost.
You build it into the cost. Yeah.
It's the foreign shipping that could kill you, and eat you alive.
The foreign shipping is something everyone has to figure out. I have no idea about that.
It's insane.
The shipping that I used to do with Diamond distributors, they did the shipping, and I paid them to do the logistics shipping. So it may be wise to do like third party a logistics thing, or figure it out on your own and save the money. I don't know.
Yeah, like I've heard of people having to pay like $100 to get their crowdfunded comics shipped to them in like Australia or something.
So stupid.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's really nuts. That's really a shame.
The foreign shipping is evil.
Eventually, as you get older or as you get more mature, potentially, I mean, I don't know how realistic this is, but eventually, if you get more mature, then you have outposts like in different countries, and that way you can start to save on shipping.
Maybe to start with, to buy the physical has to be an add-on feature, so they have to pay for shipping according to where they live.
Yeah, something like that.
That would suck, because it would be great to just have it all included and all baked in together.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. That is the goal. But maybe there has to be it's like, hey, you got to pay for shipping on this thing, and like in the U.S., it wouldn't be horribly expensive.
Right.
It's not that bad.
Well,
I buy comics all the time online. It doesn't cost that much to ship a couple of comics.
I think that's what happens when you start getting, you can always bake that in, especially when you start doing bigger deals. Like as we move forward, if we were to take the comics that we launched before and do these new comics and kind of continue to grow it, then you can start doing deals where I thought this guy, Ethan Van Sciver, had a really good deal lately where it was like, hey, here's everything I've done, every crowdfunded book I've done, because he's trying to clean out his warehouse. He doesn't want to sit on books. So he says, here's a spring deal. Here's 13, 14 comics, a couple $100 or whatever it was. And he gets to clear out his warehouse, and you get the entire stack, and it's just one shipment, right? It all fits in that one little case. But yeah, I think I love that we're talking about it, because I know it's going to happen.
So if those cost $1.50 on the newsstand, what's it cost to print though? And then at what?
It depends on how much he's printing. I don't know how much he prints. I don't know. I talked to him for a little while a couple of years ago, but I never, because at the time he was looking to partner.
Prices have probably gone up, but the last I checked, it's around 40 cents.
Do you know the printer he uses, Avery?
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, we should find out.
He's talked about it before. When he was having that program where, hey, you're an independent publisher, whatever, you can give me your stuff and I'll have it printed with mine. And these are the rates. If you that was
you attach onto
he'll attach it to his, that way it's you get his discount.
Yeah.
Well, and he also gets a lower cost too, because he's printing more books.
Exactly.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, and it was real reasonable to where, selling it at $1.25, you can do it.
Well, see, that's why if you really wanted to, you wouldn't get, now you're not getting any prestige, like crazy cover. You're not getting your chromium cover or any of your special covers on this. But I do like it. One of the things that I think we should do, or I'd like to do, that a lot of these people do not do, is you take a stack of those books and you basically send them to everybody. Like everybody in our network should get like a small, like a couple issues of each, right? So they can just give them away or read them or enjoy them. Like you just give it to everybody and at 40 cents a pop or whatever it is, that's not out. Granted, you're eating the cost of shipping yourself, but outside of just shipping, it's not really. It could be a great advertisement,
Yeah, man. And look at that rate, you could get some. Like I said, like our comics should be next to WAGMI's comics at their booth at a conference, right?
That's right?
Pick one up, pick another one up. Who else are we working with?
Right.
Who else, can we put those on their stands, right?
That's right. Well, I'm also, and I don't know, this is also important to talk about too now, because and I'm just speculating, and I'm being honest about that. I'm purely speculating. I don't know the plan. But if WAGMI wants to go to print, and I don't know that they do, I genuinely don't know. But whether it's WAGMI or somebody else, there's probably going to be someone outside of just us that wants us to help them print books.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also really good for us to kind of figure out, like there is, I've already done research on the print on demand places. There's some really high quality print on demand places where you can get just some gorgeous books. I don't know the difference yet in like, there's, the good thing about print on demand is that it's print on demand. So if you want one comic to 5,000, great. At a certain point though, and I don't know what that point is, print on demand becomes more expensive than going to a large printer. Like the benefit of the large printer is that they print large numbers, right? The downside of the large printer is that they're going to have minimums, right? But it might be that at a minimum of 5,000 copies from a major printer might be cheaper than 5,000 copies at an on-demand place.
Yes, it would be.
I know, right? Yeah. So one would think that it would be, but I don't know.
It is. It is. I still go and look at different printers, and that'll tell you. And once you're getting close to 1,000 and you get 1,000 and up, you're better off going with it. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do, man. If we're printing like covers, making prints of covers, you can bundle it with a cool T-shirt. You can get your NFT. Like, what other kind of like tchotchkes can we, create that people are going to want?
Well, I think at some point there's going to be a subdued plushie. I want a subdued plushie.
People like actual trading cards to go with the cards, stickers.
Well, that's also something that I wanted to. Since we're talking about products tonight, I mean, what the hell? Like one of the other things that I've seen and I thought was a kind of a smart idea, and we can just talk about it. So, and this also straight up got to give credit where credit's due. I first heard about it from Ethan Van Sciver. He started off with a monthly subscription support club, right? He needed support, and nothing helps a creator more or a creative team more than monthly recurring revenue, right? And what he did is, if you joined his membership, if you became a member, every single month his team would mail you a collectible trading card. And so it's been like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years now. And he's got like 75, 85 different trading cards, right? Now, I think the brilliance of this model, and I'm guessing, totally guessing here, but I think the brilliance of the model is, I know that those cards, a lot of them were panels from the comic as well as artist friends doing renditions of his characters, right? And so a lot of that was probably done in advance. He's not sitting there every month saying, oh my God, I got to get the artwork for this issue, for this card, and we're only going to print one card. He probably got the quote for how much it would cost to print 100 cards.
He's banging out a couple sheets.
Right. He's banging out the sheets of cards, has them all chopped up, and they're just sitting there, and he just, every month, he probably already has the next 2 years worth of months of cards ready to go. I'm guessing, but that seems to be the way it works. And he's also sold like specially designed binders to hold the card, because now that you've got 70 cards, you need a binder to hold the card, right? Like, really cool, really smart stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if that is really smart, and I was wondering if that's something that would fit potentially our universe, where we do like a monthly club or a monthly membership. And you get not just you get the NFT and the digital collectible of the character, but you also get a physical card in the mail, right? Like you actually get that limited edition card. And maybe we do it where it's like, they're just limited edition cards, and we print. I'm making up a number. You print 200 of each card or 500 of each card, and when they're gone, they're gone. Like whatever.
Nobody else gets it. When it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could do that with limited edition T-shirts because there is a market for limited edition collectible T-shirts.
Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I think Dusty and I came up with a really good idea. Well, I'll tell you off air, but we have a really good idea for limited edition T-shirts.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
you could have 50 Shades of Subdued, like special.
Oh my God, that's just 50 Shades of Subdued.
Call like cheap China, because all that shit's made in China anyway. Just repackage it.
Yeah,
you have a heinous, lifelike.
100%.
Speaking of which, I've already made the executive decision that we are producing a heinous Stretch Armstrong. It's just a matter of getting the team to approve it. So
no, just the neck, just the neck.
No.
Just the neck, Avery.
Just the neck should be stretchy like Stretch Armstrong.
Avery, at a certain point, it becomes a butt plug.
Everything's a butt plug if you're brave enough.
Yeah, it's like they had these shit. I'll see if I can find the photo here.
Touche, Avery. Yeah. You're not wrong.
You could fit a whole raccoon in a human anus.
No, we're not going.
I want to hear Doc's story about the cleaning person taking a shit in his bathroom in Dubai.
Oh God, yeah.
What happened?
Listen,
I saw it on Twitter.
What?
Listen, yeah. So it rained. It rained terribly in Dubai. I got there the night before the rain, was stuck. Like where I wasn't so bad, but the whole city. I mean, fucking like Rolls Royces up to the roof, just like abandoned cars everywhere. It was just absolute chaos and mayhem, and you couldn't get anywhere. And I was in a part of, I didn't opt to stay in the resort area because I was on a budget, so I got me like a little studio apartment hotel thing. No matter how you slice it, you got to go up and down 20 minutes each way because all these events were so spread out. So I made the decision. There was like a couple things I needed to be to down there. I knew I was probably going to be drinking. I didn't know if I was going to get back, so I was like, screw it, I'm just going to charge it to the team, and I'm going to go and get a hotel closer to where the action is. So I left. I literally, like, you couldn't get a cab. I literally stood out on the street with money in my hand until somebody picked me up because it was insane. There were people, I shit you not, even some of my colleagues, that either got stuck at the airport for like 16, 18 hours, or we got rerouted to Oman or different places. And then some of them just finally got fed up with trying to get out of the airport and walked, and this is no exaggeration, like 4 hours through, knee to waist high water just to get to their hotel through who knows what kind of, sewer, sanitary, whatever's coming up. Anyway, so I left. I was like, I'm out, guys. I'll be back 3 days, right? So I get back and I noticed that the housekeeping cart is outside my thing. The door's cracked. Knock, knock. I'm like, hello, I'm back. I don't see anybody. I look. This kind of had like this loft bed. I kind of looked up there to see if there's. I was like, hello, and I hear like up in the bathroom. I'm like, hello, and he's like, yes, sir. I'm like, yeah, this is my room, and I'm back. He's like, I'm cleaning. Flush. He's dropping a deuce in my bathroom while he's cleaning the damn room. I'm like, what's even to clean? I haven't even been here for 2 days, bro. Just come by to poop.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude. Did he at least clean up after he crapped? Like, he cleaned the stains out of the toilet and shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's like, I'm cleaning, sir. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's cleaning out his colon.
No kidding, yeah.
Oh God, so funny.
Yeah, man. Never had that happen before. Although I think I did it once. I did housekeeping for like 2 weeks at the Motel 8 when I was like 17 or something like that. I either pooped in the bathroom or like was like smoke. It was we could smoke then, so it was like smoking cigarettes and making the bed. Right? Stupid.
Are you like one step away from like one of those videos where like the maid comes in and seduces you or something? And
I wish.
Or like the gang comes in and it's like the wrong room or some shit.
Yeah, right. I'd be like, I'd take naps. Like, I was supposed to be cleaning, and I was only there. I worked there for 2 weeks. My name tag said Regis on it. And I was like the only guy housekeeper. It was like a temp job. And I was like taking naps and smoking cigarettes, and yeah, I didn't give two shits.
So funny.
I was
dude.
just like taking up space, man.
Oh man. Yeah, like yeah, that's a crazy trip, man. That's awesome that you went.
It was nutty.
I would love to go maybe next year, but I feel like I would have to. It's such a big trip, man.
It's a big trip. I rolled the dice because I didn't have any meetings set up or anything. I was just like, I'm going to go hard. I never made it to the actual conference itself.
Really? Wow. It was just pure parties and meetings.
Yeah. The party stuff got old, but there it's like, especially in Dubai, that's a lot of it. The goal for the next conference is wherever I go, that I'm going to have people who want to meet me, like in the daytime, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. At least one.
Now, are you just because I've never been, like, do you like? I know you can't be drunk, like you can't drink on the street. That's like they have a lot of different laws there. It's not.
You
America.
Can't drink on the street. You can't buy alcohol at the store. If you're a foreigner and you want to buy alcohol, you have to get like a special permit. And there's only 2 liquor stores that are allowed to sell to you, and you have to take it home. But then it's like, I did all this research. How do we have to be modest and whatever? It's like, well, modest, Hawaiian shirt, good enough. Like I'm a dude, right? Whatever. But it's like for women, it's like respect the culture. Man, they don't give a shit. Like, dude, it's just like titties bursting out on the just like everywhere, like short shorts. I'm like, you didn't read the travel blog, lady. I'm sure I'm sure you're being cursed under the breath somewhere. You get down to the resort, it's a little different, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty relaxed, man. You can only drink in the hotels. All the clubs are in the hotels, which is great.
If you're like accidentally drunk on the street, they're not going to drag you away.
But there's not. I mean, look, people are drunk, but there's not like police everywhere. There are police, but there's not police everywhere. Like, don't screw the hotel security. I mean, there's like prostitutes in the hotel lobbies, and
what? Like I thought it was like against the religion or something.
Of course it is. But Dubai is very famous for shipping in multinational lovely ladies. It happens, but in the resort areas, they just come to the hotel lobbies and hang out, or they'll be in the bar. You could tell they'll do laps and sit there. Like it's very, I got accosted a couple times. Beautiful lady, and I'm like, married. She's like, oh, come break the rules. And I'm like, not tonight. I'm so hammered. I was impeccably drunk because we met some folks that I knew from this other development house, and we wound up like at a party and after party. Then somebody, I still to this day don't know who it was. It's like, come on, guys, we're going up to the Penthouse Club. So we went like way up, and it's like the club, and it's like, it's just crazy. Whatever. I was pretty decimated, I'm not going to lie. And the hotel that I was at, there was no like one entrance. They have these underground parking garages. They have different towers, right? So to get to your elevator, you have to navigate this garage, and it comes out the other side or this side. And man, this one prostitute, she must have seen me like at least 4 times, like zipping in and out of this thing. Cause she's like, you want a good night? And I'm like, lady, I just want directions home. Hammered.
I'd have a wonderful night if I got home.
You wouldn't get very far if you did come with me. So yeah. It was crazy, man.
Oh shit. Cool.
Got on
So
a couple
next year,
yachts.
Dubai, just for the stories. I got you.
Yeah, got a couple little yacht parties. It was really funny because we were joking about how people could turn their Lamborghinis into boats and paddle down the road. But then we're out on a yacht, and they actually have these little like tiny Lamborghini boats that you can rent. If you go out on the thing, right? They look like Lamborghinis. Pretty funny. I don't know if you can see this. Nah, you can't. Oh, my daughter sends me with a little stuffed animal everywhere I go, so I like take pictures with it when I'm places. So I had this little fox. Yeah, but I went up to the Burj and did all that kind of stuff, and they tried to sell me. They put you in front of a green screen to like do some photos, like the angel wings and like whatever. Then they do like one where it looks like you're falling. Man, they wanted $65 for this picture. I just took a photo of the screen as they were showing it to me. It's like, let me do the conversion for the rate. There was like click, 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 click.
Oh my God,
it was cool though.
Unbelievable. Well, good. I'm glad you had a blast. You going next year, you think? Well, let me ask you this. Is it we did Denver. Is Dubai would do again? It seems like it would be like it's on the list to go again.
Yeah, I mean, if I've got good reason, yeah, definitely. If I'm able to progress in the ways I want to progress right now, yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of money there, a lot of things happening. Is it really like, I don't know. It's better than 2049 in Singapore. I want to go to Consensus at the end of May if I get a little further in my current plans. That's more like business to business. Like when you go, and depending on the ticket, like if you get a ticket and you're a startup ticket, you get three tickets, you sign up for the thing, and then you're like guaranteed matched with VCs and meetings and things like that when you go, which is cool, right? So but that's like, right, that's $1,800 for the startup thing. It's 3 tickets still, but I said at the end of the month though, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, as much as like it's weird because it's like this thing of like conferences and you go and it's like hoo ha, and these people that, I mean, like my friend Mona, that's all she does, man. She's VC, really great person. But I mean, she's just like, boom, conference circuit, do.
Well, that's the job.
That's the job, right? Yeah. And when you get to like a certain point and you're executing like those kind of deals, you just have to keep going and working with these people and meeting them and like getting in the big meetings and stuff like that. I'm sick of the partying stuff, right? I'm going to go. I want it to start being more meaningful. But yeah, look, I made a lot of good contacts. Yeah. Ran into my buddy that I met in Singapore, who has this micro influencer site, and went out to dinner with him. And it just, really cool stuff. Just random, like, hey, remember the last time we met? My good friend. We went out for like way too long. Yeah.
That's great stuff.
It's weird. It's like, look at me. I'm like, oh, when I was in Singapore, when I was in Dubai. Dude, I'm not like that.
I'm not like that shit. I'm not like that.
I just hurt myself. That's what you got to do.
I wanted to hear about the trip, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm happy to tell the story, but it's not like
I'm never going to go to Dubai.
I would have liked to have had more time to do some actual maybe historical or cultural stuff, but the rain screwed all that up. So
yeah, that made national news. That was so bad. That made world news.
There were 30,000 pieces of luggage in the airport that were just like lost, not claimed or whatever, backed up.
Jeez.
30,000 pieces of luggage.
That's incredible.
It's a logistical nightmare.
I don't even know how they would figure that stuff out, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
That's why they shut down. They shut down for a couple days, not arrivals, but departures, just because because they couldn't handle moving the luggage and all the stuff. They're just like, sorry. You got to go to Abu Dhabi or something.
Yeah, I can't blame them. That stuff that was a freak thing, man. That was crazy.
It was pretty nutty. I mean, honestly, being from the Midwest, that amount of rain, it was a lot of rain, really high wind. But I live in tornado country. It was like a Tuesday, right?
Well, that's like coming from like living in New York City after you've like come from Florida. It's like the amount of rain that goes in New York City is not that bad. Yeah. But like even like a moderate rain, and it's like flooding. Like it can't handle it, and it's like, man, this is not even. Like, I can still see 3 feet in front of me, whereas in Florida, when it rains hard, you're just, like, blind.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I get it. Like, city planners never like, we need to build a comprehensive drainage system here because there's nothing to drain to. And then they're built in this inhabitable, otherwise uninhabitable desert. So there's nothing like, I don't know, like, if there's aquifers to drain into there for, like, the regular rainwater, but... You just can't. I mean, sand's not soaking anything up.
Right.
It's pretty nutty.
That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
It was. Awesome. It was really crazy.
I'm glad you're okay. And
thanks.
Wasn't it like a whole year's worth of rain or more for them?
More than that. Yeah, it's like most rain they've had in like 70 years or something.
Yeah.
Since they started keeping track of rainfall, it's the most rain Dubai's ever had.
That's what happens when you let the government try to handle your weather control.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Did you get a chance to see the Burj Khalifa? I always wanted to see that.
Yeah, man. I got I don't have a ton of photos, but let me find.
Well, you mentioned the whole infrastructure thing. I actually read that's the tallest building in the world, but it's not actually connected to a sewer system. So apparently, every morning there's like a line of like poop trucks hauling away all the sewage.
No way.
That
place is huge, bro.
I know.
And there's it's residential. It's mixed use. So it's like offices, and they have residences, and then where else?
I do know that I read there was actually a problem there. Is that the thing about Dubai is that there actually isn't. It was just built up. There was no real like actual town planning to it.
Oh, I believe that. I would believe that.
But anyway, I always wanted to see it, but I hate flying.
Andrew, what are you sharing?
Here, let me share this real fast. Just a quick photo. There you go.
Oh wow.
Wow. I mean, like,
that's wild.
All of these buildings,
in
and of themselves, are gargantuan, right? They're huge. And it's not only that. It's like, this is just the downtown. And then you go over here, and there's another huge outcropping of giant skyscrapers. You go over here, more skyscrapers. That place where they made like the world islands, more skyscrapers. Like, it's just skyscrapers everywhere. So these are already huge. And this is the 148th floor. It's the second to the highest deck you could go to without spending like a ridiculous amount of money.
Nope. Jesus. Could not have done it.
Nope, well, I mean, they got glass. The elevator goes up. You go up 100. See, there's my little stuffed animal thing. I only have a couple pictures on here, but check that out.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, man, that's from the roof of wherever. But the elevator goes from like one ground floor to 125th in a minute.
Oh my god!
And then you take another one to go up the other ones. Yeah, it's like.
Oh, crazy. Yeah, that sounds like everything inside of you would like dump out.
You'd think so, but it was actually really smooth. Well, they distract you. They have a projector in there. They distract
you. There's a hooker in every single...
distract you. It's a huge elevator, but then they have a projector, and it on the sides, kind of up towards the top, it projects like little pictures and like the floors that you're on. It has like music and stuff. So, it kind of distracts you from the sensation of going up fast. But honestly, I mean, I couldn't tell. Your ears popped, though.
I thought you were going to say they distract you by having a hooker in every elevator.
Well, that would be cool, too.
That would be cool. Awesome, man. That's freaking crazy. It's a beautiful city, man. I would like to visit one day.
It's pretty incredible.
Andrew, you should tell. Yeah, you should go. Tell them you're Jewish.
Yeah, well, you're allowed. I looked into it. You're allowed to go as long as you don't have like an Israeli passport, I guess.
Or
okay.
an Israeli stamp.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Israel.
Not allowed. Oh, really? You can't go to Dubai?
Nope.
I didn't know
not. If you have that, if you have a passport or even a stamp from Israel, I don't know if that's changed, but that was the story.
Didn't know that.
But I had two things from the wedding to share. The first is a video, and the other one is a story that I shared on my stream Sunday night, which none of you except Avery might have heard.
Now, is this something you want to do tomorrow night on Nerd Den, or is this?
No. I got comics to talk about on Nerd Den.
All right. I have a feeling I know what this is going to be.
This is simply my friend Todd has got moves. I mean, to the point where I was blushing that how many moves he had. And that's what this video is. There's a video of us dancing together, which Todd has, but the copy he sent me was extremely low quality.
Oh,
horribly
really?
low quality. Oh,
Why?
yeah.
I sent you the actual video.
No, it was sucky. I can share it, but it's
no,
sucky.
I'll share it. I'll share
but this one's actually good.
MK says he experienced those moves in NFT NYC.
Yeah, I got him at ETH Denver too, baby.
I will share after Andrew shares this. I will share my experience at Andrew's daughter's wedding. I have it's 3 little clips. It's very fun. Okay, let's see.
Well, I'm going to keep the volume down since there's music in the background. Actually, I'm not even going to play the volume, but this was a dance circle where everybody was, and then everybody was like going out into the middle, and Todd didn't go out into the middle.
Experienced it.
That's
fun. Right, he did.
Whoa.
That's where he assaulted me.
Yeah.
Somebody's yelling, "Put your phone away." I think that was my sister.
Yeah, yelling at you. So okay, all right. So let me share. I will share because Andrew, this has been MK, you're out there. This has been a big week for Andrew because not only did his eldest daughter, i.e. his only daughter, get married, but he is also today was like his last Monday and his last Tuesday and his last Wednesday of work, right?
Yep.
Wasn't today your last Thursday of work?
Technically, Tuesday is my last day, but since I'm on vacation Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, tomorrow when I go in I'm literally turning in my equipment and being done.
The MK says, we're tired.
Right. That's right.
Of course, now, tomorrow is your last day, and of course you'll be able to go on a little cruise. MK says, yeah, it's slough days. You're going to go on this cruise, but now you understand you have absolutely no excuse not to do this comic and everything else you've promised for the last 30 years. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I don't have this downloaded on my computer, but I want to show you one more picture. This is one of the ones I like.
That means
a lot. This is a picture of her.
Hold on. There you go.
This is one of the pictures of her with all of her bridesmaids with their bouquets around her.
Oh, that's cool.
She looks so pretty.
Yeah.
And of course, I sent you guys the picture of her and I as we were walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
And that picture that I just showed you, I joked with the lady at the restaurant last night that I want to get that printed on a T-shirt because it'd make it easier to point it out to people. This is my daughter. Look. But
I'm sure she'll really appreciate that
because I'm sharing it with everybody.
Yeah, I know. He's
Yeah, and this is the one where they clean me up really well and allow me to go outside. Trying to do it where you can actually
Yeah, it looks good.
I posted this on my scam channel in the post community section, and somebody says, "That's your daughter? I think you're scamming us."
Deep fake.
All right, so let me show you this. This is how the night started. MK, you'll appreciate this.
You still got me on.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hold on.
Not that I mind. No, I love the attention.
I know you do. It's okay. So this is how the night started. This is, of course, Andrew and I. He was wearing a hat that said "Father of the Bride." It's a very cool hat.
My sister made for me.
That's some nice paisley there, man. That's like,
yeah, man. He's rocking the paisley.
Pretty sexy.
The purple went with my wife's dress, so we were color coordinated.
I like it.
You're trying to fit the hat.
Yeah, but that's all right. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, yeah, here it is. The white hat that says "Father of the Bride."
Yep.
And I was telling everybody that was my crown of importance at the wedding, because the father of the bride is honestly the most important person at the wedding. So, based on the level of how much each person paid, the father of the bride is at the top of the list.
All right. So now we did. So that was how we started the night, and then now there's not going to be any audio to this because I'm sharing.
Oh, this is a much better quality from what I can tell.
And then MK says the most with a $sign important person. Yeah.
Yes.
So this we started to dance.
And notice that this is also when the lights are still on, where there's nobody else out there.
People start noticing, and then they start taking pictures of us.
I'm just gonna pretend Unchained Melody is playing.
And the funny part is we both tried to dip each other at the same time, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, we both had the same idea at the same time.
Yeah, couple of dips, all right.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Yeah,
Dip.
here we go. This is the edited version. MK says dirty dancing.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that.
Did not grab his ass. I swear to God, I did not.
Good. There he goes.
Yes, I'm trying to dip it. Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
And then as the night progressed, so we started, with meeting each other, and then we had
my daughter loves those little mini digital cameras where it prints out the picture. They're not Polaroids, but they're very much like it. She had set up cameras in different places for people to take their own pictures.
I just thought of, I'm sorry, I just had a flash of Fantasia with the alligator and the hippo. I don't know which one of us is the alligator and which one is the hippo, and I don't think it...
Have you guys seen that video of the huge overweight woman taking on the skinny girl in the cage match?
Yes.
Have you seen this?
No.
If you haven't, it is absolutely freaking hilarious. During the weigh-in, she's like stomach bumping the girl, and when they get into the cage, the skinny girl just kind of runs around, and the big heavy girl literally lunges at her, and the girl moves out of the way, and the person goes head first into the cage and knocks herself out. And the skinny girl won the match without throwing a single punch.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that, dude. The fat chick took herself out, dude. And she's like morbidly obese fat.
Very, 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 very.
So, and this is, we got to share. So the first part of the night, Andrew and I met. We had, we danced. Andrew had his very first drink ever.
Whole drink. Drank the whole glass.
One whole glass of champagne. He never has had a drink before. He had his first drink.
I'm sure there's a video of my toast out there somewhere.
Probably. And but it doesn't matter because then Andrew and I, we made sweet love. So
wow.
Dude, I can't believe you showed this publicly.
Was it not my sister who took this picture?
Yes, your sister was dying laughing, and I asked her permission. I said, "Can I make a fool of myself for a minute?" And she's like, "Of course." I said, "Cool, just take a photo."
And I'm fairly certain my daughter has this as part of her collection of pictures.
Maybe she should put that on her T-shirt to wear around and be like, "That's my dad."
At my wedding.
At my wedding. Yeah. This is the blurry face of a very happy father right there.
Wow. You guys are something else.
Yeah, MK says adult fantasy. Exactly what you think.
Yeah, exactly. God, it is.
the funny part about this story is around 9 o'clock. Now we were supposed to have the venue all the way to 11. And we were supposed to start cleaning up at 10. Well, at 9 o'clock, the caterers pulled me aside, said, "You're the father of the bride." I said, "Yes." Yeah. "Well, come here. We got to tell you something." I go, "Okay, tell me." They said, "Listen, our contractual time is up. We're leaving," which means your licensed alcohol person is leaving, which means, and she took us to the back room and showed us all the cases of Corona and Heineken and wine and champagne that was still left over, and said, nobody legally can give this stuff out.
Here's what I want to say to preface this on my side of things. One of the benefits, I guess, of being the father of the bride is that, you're paying for the wedding. So Andrew purchased all the alcohol, which is fantastic. One of the downsides of being a parent who never drinks is that you have no clue how much another human being can drink.
Yeah.
And so the amount of alcohol that this poor man purchased was, dude, I've been to bars that didn't have this much alcohol. Like,
needless to say, we loaded up my car and we loaded up my son's car, and I gave out cases of beer and alcohol to people, and we
kids
still
at the comic shop.
Well, Todd took a case of Heineken
and three bottles
of wine.
Like not just a bottle. These were like those giant
magnums.
Yeah, like the giant size bottles.
And his mother was watching his kids, and I told him, "You need to give her one of these bottles as a thank you gift."
I did too.
Good. And then my sister took a case. My sister took a case, and my nephew, my sister's stepson, took a case. And I offered another case to one of the other groomsmaid, and he took one bottle. I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, you're not listening to me. But yeah, the rest of it, they came and picked up the next day. But yeah, the funny part was I did not know this, but when the lady said to us, "There's nobody here that can legally give this out. We're letting you know what you got. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do, but we can't give it out anymore." So I told Todd, I said, "We need to load this shit up and get it out of here." So we started, with Mike's help, started loading it all up in our cars. And when word circulated through the wedding that there was no more alcohol, because we literally just said no more, a couple of her fucking groomsmen and bridesmaid left. They said no alcohol, and they left. They were all supposed to stay and help clean up, and they were gone.
Yeah, we got back.
And it was like, and my daughter, when she found out about that later, she was pissed. She's like,
it was Andrew and me and Andrew's son, and we were just packing the alcohol, and it was a lot. And
so here's the other funny part about
that. Hold on, when we got done though, and I walked back into the main ballroom, it was like 5 people left. Or remaining, like 5 people remaining, and I was like,
well, the ones who remained, when we decided let's start packing it up, they knocked everything out, and we left at like about 10:15, and it was pretty much already done. People were just finishing loading up the last in the car, because we had to get everything done by 11. Mm-hmm. But by 10:30, they were completely finished. They were done. They did a great job. The friends that stayed, my sister, my brother-in-law, they knocked shit out. They did a great job getting everything done. And it was very commendable that they stuck around and helped, and it was good. Now, my daughter missed out on one thing. Their original plan was at 10 o'clock, they were going to do the walkout where they leave and get in the car and go back to the hotel. They were going to go back to the hotel, change clothes, and then drive back and help with the cleanup. Well, by 9 o'clock, people were already leaving. And you're not supposed to leave until the bride and groom leave. But we had some older people that were like, we can't, we're done. We're done for the night. So they left. And so she never got to do the walk. We had water guns that we were going to squirt in the air, like a 100-gun salute type of thing.
If it helps, next time I see her, I'll shoot her with a water gun.
Yeah, that'll make her happy, I'm sure. But yeah, it was pretty fun. And here's another funny part. We also had a lot of food left over. We literally had a whole tray, a big ass tray of baked chicken. We've been eating that for like 4 days now.
Yo, dude, that baked chicken was so good.
But there was also collard greens. There was other stuff. Well,
yeah, it was a southern.
Todd and I put all the food in my son's car because my son was going to go back to the house that night. He was driving back from Palatka. He was going home. We were going to the hotel at the World Golf Village to spend the night. And he texted me around 12:40 at night, says, call me when you get a second. And I'm thinking, oh God, what's that? So I call him up and he says, Dad, I got all the food in the fridge, but there wasn't enough room for one tray. So I'm taking it with me. And I go, okay. And the next day, my daughter and my son-in-law come over, or no, they showed up to the store. They showed up to the store because Romel met us there. And I said to him, yeah, Mike brought all the food, put it into the fridge, except for one tray worth. And Raphael looked at me and he said, what did Michael keep? And I said, the mac and cheese. He starts laughing his ass off because it was some damn good mac and cheese. They immediately called him up and said, hey, bring that mac and cheese back because we want some of it. So he brought it back. Turns out it was mac and cheese and all the meatballs. That's what he took, is all the meatballs and all the mac and cheese. And they divvied it up amongst themselves. And you know how much they left for me and the wife and the mother-in-law? Fucking none. We had the chicken and the collard greens and the sweet potato souffle. They left us none of the mac and cheese and meatballs.
I like how you're making an entire conversation about not having mac and cheese and meatballs.
I'd fuck up some collard greens and chicken, man.
Yeah, well, hey,
I had collard greens and pork chops the other night.
So the story I told during my live stream Sunday night is the story I'm going to tell you guys right now. Have you guys ever been driving down like a major highway? For us, it's I-95, and taken an off-ramp. And as you're going on the off-ramp, the exit, you notice signs pointing the other way that say wrong way. And you think to yourself, what kind of a moron turns down the wrong way of an exit ramp?
Andrew, man, I'm so glad you're not dead.
The night of the rehearsal, we were heading back to the hotel. And here's the sad part. It was me and my wife, and my son was in the car behind us because he didn't know where to get to the hotel. So we're driving north on 95, and we exit off to the World Golf Village ramp, and then we turn this way to go over 95. And I know the turn to the World Golf Village is to the right at the light. So I get to the first light and I turn. And the first thing I see and think to myself is, why are all the arrows on the road pointing the wrong way? And then I see the wrong way signs and go, oh shit, I have literally turned into oncoming traffic on the exit ramp for 95. Luckily, there weren't any cars coming, and the cars that were there, the first lane that we turned on had nobody in it. And we were able to quickly U-turn and get in the right lane and get off of it. But we went headfirst into oncoming traffic on the off-ramp for 95. And we're lucky to be alive, because had a semi-truck been coming or any car coming, and the boy was right behind us. He was right behind us because he didn't know where he was going. There was no way to back up. There was no room to avoid a car. We literally turned in a what if situation, in an alternate reality, we would have died the night before my daughter's wedding. All three of us would have been dead.
Yeesh. That's scary.
So in other words, don't drive at night, Drew, dumbass.
Yeah, Andrew, don't drive at night anymore. You're not allowed.
Yeah, but I knew my turn was coming up, and I just turned up just a little too soon.
I got a story kind of like that, but there was a lot more nudity and booze involved.
There was no booze and there was no nudity involved in my story. So
there was definitely nudity involved in this one. I wasn't the one that went backwards. It was my buddy.
I went backwards. I thought you were going to say I wasn't the one that was nude.
Oh, no, I was definitely nude. And by that, I mean completely naked driving my car down the highway. With other occupants, not just like, hey guys.
I heard a thing from a cop one time that people driving without shirts on, that's usually a sign that you need to pull these people over.
Why?
Something about, they're usually up to no good or something, or inebriated, because people don't go driving around without shirts on. And if they see somebody without a shirt on, they look for reasons to pull them over.
Well, that's
the dock was swaying in the breeze, huh?
Dude, I was doing a lot of things at that given moment. We had gone to this is like when I was 20, and we worked at this restaurant. It's pretty rowdy. We were all doing each other. That's how it goes.
Of course.
Went to the Kansas City Restaurant Association bowling party, which was way out south on the other side of the city. Mm-hmm. Somehow, 5 of us managed to drink 13 pitchers of beer and get kicked out of the bowling alley. I was breakdancing after I bowled, as one does, right? Went to another bar, went to the karaoke bar, and I had a girlfriend and the other girl. Anyway, another chick wanted to ride with us on the way home, and next thing you know, we're all naked in the car. Things are happening. Well, our friend Derek, who was obliterated, also, and don't drive drunk. This was like the dumbest shit ever. And after this, I swore I would never, and I probably didn't ever drive that drunk again. My friend Derek, who was following us in the not fun car, disappeared. And I didn't know, we're like, well, let's go. We're driving. I should not have been on the highway, right? All of a sudden, boom, cherries behind me. I'm like, holy shit, the jig is up. It's over, right? Oh, because Derek went down the wrong way of the highway. We saw him. We could call him. We could do anything. I didn't even know where my phone was. I didn't even have a pocket for a phone at that point. And saw the cherries behind me. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst.
I didn't even have a pocket for a phone.
The worst thing ever, right? I'm like, I'm definitely going to jail. But what had actually happened was Derek managed to somehow get himself turned around, find us again, and follow us. And he got pulled over for following us too closely. So, unfortunately, he went to jail because he was also drunk. But yeah, it was it was almost going to be a majestic.
Didn't get drunk. You didn't get arrested for being butt ass naked.
They didn't know. They pulled over Derek because he was following me too closely.
Oh,
right?
God.
Yeah.
So you saw the So you saw the lights behind.
I saw the lights. Thought, oh my God, it's for me.
And then you realized
then it was somebody else. So we kept going. We kept going. We got back to the apartment, and I'm like, got my girl, got this other girl, like everything's And then we get a phone call, call from Derek in the Johnson County jail, and we're like, fuck, we gotta go bail this asshole out. Of course, we couldn't because we're all, it's anyway. Long story.
Tell him we'll come when we sober up.
Don't do kids at home. Don't do what I did. I don't know how I'm still here.
That is the moral of the story. You don't.
I honestly don't know how I'm still here.
You don't want these kind of stories.
I mean,
you probably do, but you might want these stories, but you don't
want these stories. Anyway, I'm glad you're live though, Drew.
Yes, me too. Me too.
I had someone come.
The wedding was fantastic. We had a great time.
Man. Your daughter looked beautiful. Looked like a great time. You two looked beautiful on the dance floor.
Thank you.
The
absolutely stunning.
The really sad part of the wedding is, other than the lighting of the candle, everything in my mind went off without a hitch. And no, my daughter and her husband filled me in on a whole bunch of crap that that went wrong.
Well, it doesn't matter.
They just went with the flow. They went with the flow and they got it done.
Yeah. Did they get married? The answer is yes.
Yes.
At the end of the day,
they had every little detail on their minds and every little thing that went wrong, and they were like, just keep going. And in my mind, it was great. It was fantastic. We had a great time and everything went off without a hitch. And turns out there were a lot of details I was unaware of, but that's okay because I didn't pay for them. So things I paid for were we're done. Very good. So
that's good.
So it was things that you didn't pay for.
Yeah, like bridesmaids and grooms showing up on time and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't have any waiters like me that were eating out of your chafing dishes before we delivered them out to the party. Like making out in the elevator. Dude, look, look, restaurant life, guys. Okay? Restaurant life. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. No, it was great. Hey, but you know that stunning photo of you two. That we could make that a Chromium special edition.
Make that a Chromium special cover.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah, when you mentioned waiting restaurant life, I used to have a bunch of roommates who all worked in restaurants, and when that movie Waiting came out, we were like, this really isn't that far off. Like that movie is incredibly close to reality.
Incredibly.
Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, what a silly comedy." It's like it's more of a documentary.
Yeah.
It's real close to reality.
I've never heard of that Waiting. I'll have to look it up.
Dude, that's a good. It's like Ryan Reynolds' first movie, his breakout movie, right?
Yeah, his breakout movie. It's got that guy. What?
The guy from the Apple commercials too.
Yeah. He was in Jeepers Creepers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And Anna Faris is in it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's an old comedy, but it's like if you've ever known a bunch of restaurant people, you're like, yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is what's his name? Luis, the Mexican cook guy. He's an.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dane Cook's in it too.
Oh yeah, Dane Cook's in it too. Yeah, man. There's a bunch. That's a good movie.
Luis Guzman, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Luis Guzman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
But it's a really funny movie, and it's spot on.
He's actually Puerto Rican, but he lives in Vermont for some reason. Don't ask me why.
Yep. Fair enough, dude. We had the hot, barely 18 hostess. That like the way older, almost 40-year-old bartender would hit on. Same thing. Same. Yeah. 100%. We play the nut tap game. The server pad goes in the middle pocket, right? And it acts like a sounding board. So you wait till your buddies have the tray, and then you just go pop, and it just it doesn't take a lot, and it just reverberates.
What is MK says? Show Todd the brain.
The brain.
The brain. Yeah.
Okay, in the movie Waiting, the waiters play a game where they show each other their nuts or their dick and balls. And then if you look, you get punched. And one of the moves is called the brain, where you hold your sack separate from your body so it looks like a brain.
Yeah. Or the what was it, the bat wing?
The bat wing. Dude, the movies, if you've ever known a bunch of people that worked in the service industry, dude, or you have watched that movie, it's incredibly realistic. As silly as it is, it's like, every Bennigan's and whatever place at Chili's has. They may be in different roles, but they have these exact people working there.
Oh, totally, man. I dated the chick that hated all the customers and was but she was the best waitress ever. But she was like, those motherfuckers, it was just exactly what it was. Then you hate each other during the shift, and you all go out to whoever has the biggest house out of everyone that lives there, and then you just drink the rest of the night.
Yep.
Yeah, good times, man.
Wow.
I wouldn't trade it. Learned a lot. It's a great industry to learn how to. I started waiting tables because I was actually so self-conscious, introverted with talking to people. I got to the restaurant industry when I was 15, and then started waiting tables after that because it forced me to speak with people, because I had a thing where I perceived people talking about me or I perceived negative connotations, but even though people weren't whatever. So I had a really huge thing and waiting tables actually helped me become the guy I am today.
Like the roommates that we had that lived with us that worked in the restaurants were literally like Justin Long's character and who's like the guy that's that's way overqualified to be doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like Deadpool, the guy that talks all the shit and is always trying to hook up with the girls, but he's always talking the shit. Like those two guys lived with us. We were like, oh, it's you assholes.
Yep.
Yep. MK says, accurate representation, Todd. You must watch it. You will thank us. Totally kid-free.
Yeah.
I think it's on Tubi or Amazon. It's on one of them.
And that's what Andrew said. It's waiting by renting, purchasing Apple TV, Google Play. I pulled up the trailer. I'll look at it afterwards.
Ryan Reynolds. I couldn't think of Ryan Reynolds' name while I was. Yeah. But yeah, like it's like every restaurant has this exact crew of people. There's someone that who and what position they are may change, but holy shit.
Yeah, it's like,
and this is the kind of crazy shit. Yeah, this is the exact crazy shit they get up to.
Yep.
Oh my god.
100%.
You've never seen that movie?
I've never seen it. No.
It's funny. It's really funny.
That's back when there were funny movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I love funny movies. I miss funny movies.
Oh, the raunchy comedy has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love them, dude. Porky's was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
Porky's
I love that.
There's something about Mary.
Yes, the first American Pie.
Hey, I had we could talk about other things. You could feel free to throw this on our bus. But I had I woke up this morning. I guess I must have at some point last night dreamed about Dead Step, the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because an idea for I guess a prestige format book or comic or whatever we're gonna do, a story popped into my head. Do you want? Would you like me to share it, or should we talk about something else?
Yeah. It's your show.
Well, we can talk, but
man.
I'll go with the flow.
Yeah,
man.
talk about it.
Is it really, Doc? Because there's always like a train going off tracks somewhere.
Yeah.
You mean the spirit?
Yeah, he mentioned restaurant. Yeah, exactly.
I know. All right, MK says share. So, this was so I just it's The Crow meets Lobo.
I'm in.
Okay, and so well, now we care about the train of conversation.
True.
Yes, it's true. We don't
very,
really
very true.
care about it. Yeah. Hey, man, whatever flows. MK, don't start making sense, please. Logic has no jurisdiction here.
The diarrhea of thought.
Yeah, it's just whatever happens, man. Okay, so I was like, what? How can we do a Dead Step story? So imagine this. We open with this in the woods, and there's a cabin in the woods, and it's a man, African American man, and he's taking care of his daughter, and he's basically secluded from society. You know, he's got a garden, he's got animals, he's kind of off the grid. You know, he's kind of taking care of himself and his daughter. And he goes into town, and you know, I have this envisioning of like a classic scene where he walks into a diner, and then everybody stares at him, and for a brief second you think it's like, oh, because these people are super racist and they're all white and he's black. But actually, that's not the case. Everyone knows him and everyone's friendly with him, and it's just normal small town vibes. And he seems kind. Basically, what happens though is the inciting event, the hook, is that his daughter gets sick and they go to the hospital. Now, the minute we go, and the hospital's in the city, and the minute we go into the city, we realize that this is Hyper Brooklyn. And I had this vision, and again, we don't have to stick to any of this, but it's just something that popped in my head. It's like Hyper Brooklyn is a really interesting place because on one side it should be sort of funny, like not or just odd, like if you ever saw the show Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that show?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that was very secluded, science-y weirdness, right? It has a lot of that vibe to it. But then on the other side, because of the threat of this primordial force, it's exceptionally totalitarian, right? So on the lighter side, it's kind of like a Eureka, but on the darker side, it's like, well, what if it was like, government using, COVID powers times 100, like the furthest, like China, like worse than that, like as totalitarian as you could possibly think. So he goes into town, and like you go into the grocery store, you go into the local store, maybe he's trying to pick up Tylenol or something, pain medication, and everything is locked up behind cabinets and counters and all that. And there's like facial recognition and health passes. He can't even get into some places because you learn that he doesn't have the right paperwork, right? For whatever the paperwork is, he doesn't have it. So that means he can't get into some stores. The hospital, when he takes the girl to the hospital, they're asking him about different medications or different scenarios that the child should have been in. Like if you're a parent, your kid's supposed to get on like the vaccination schedule and all that kind of, whatever that is. And for whatever it is, and it'll be made up, of course, for Hyper Brooklyn, but whatever it is specific to what you're supposed to have, whether it's paperwork or some type of medicine you're supposed to take or whatever it is, he doesn't take it, and the child has never taken it. And so he's basically coming in having broken rules because he's been living on the outskirts kind of alone and kind of by himself. And so it's kind of like if you went away to a desert island for a decade and then came back, like everything's kind of changed and you don't really know how to interact. Or if you went to jail or prison for 10, 20 years and you didn't have a TV or you didn't have any access, you would have no clue what's going on anymore, right? Because it just changes so fast. And this is so totalitarian. So anyway, things happen. The kid dies inside the hospital, right? And it's like they did something against the father's wishes, whatever. Well, of course, it turns out that this father is Deadstep, former assassin, right? And he just loses his shit and then goes on like a revenge rampage. And so he kind of like moves up the ladder from like doctor to the head of the hospital to like some government agent, maybe like the pharma company or the investment firm, your Vanguard or BlackRock or whatever, something. He's just moving up the ladder. And so it's kind of like this Crow meets Bisley, right? Or a Lobo. Crow meets Lobo. And then it was like, well, maybe even in the darkest moments. One of my all-time favorite movies is Luc Besson's The Professional, right? What's known here as The Professional. And so I was like, well, maybe even the ghost of his daughter, like when he's like getting his ass kicked or he's about to die or he needs some kind of direction, it's like the ghost of his daughter is almost his Robin. It's his sidekick, right? And then so it's just like you realize that what he's going up against is something that he can't necessarily win because he's in a situation where they can do kind of anything, right? And it's like him against this paranoia and fear as he kind of tries to do this revenge for his kids passing. That's what I got.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
Dig it.
Yeah.
MK says Leon. Yeah, the other one. Leon is my all-time. I don't know why. I just think the writing and the direction, to me, Leon, aka the Professional, or Leon the Professional, like, I don't know why, but to me it is the ultimate superhero movie, right? Like, I love superhero movies that aren't superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker fits that. The only reason the Joker doesn't live up to Leon is that everyone knows who the Joker is, right? If the Joker movie was not about the Joker specifically, right, but it kind of had the exact same thing happen, that would have been up there in my mind with Leon. The Joker is also probably like number 2 or 3 up there. Like, I love that. So yeah, cool. And MK thinks it's awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Great premise. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, in other news, Sydney Sweeney's actually kind of hot. I don't think I realized that. Wow.
Cool.
Oh yeah, share the post I put in the group chat.
Well, what's so funny is
I like how we just changed the subject totally. That's fine. Everything's good.
While you've been talking, I've been looking at her Instagram photos. So I mean,
yeah.
But
yeah, what you say doesn't matter, Todd. It's fine.
You know what's so funny about the post that Avery shared is that there's actually something else at the bottom of that.
Yeah, and having great opinions.
And having correct opinions.
Yeah, correct opinions.
Yeah, but nobody sees that part.
No.
Actually, one of the articles I was looking at actually fuzzed out the T word. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to hear a funny story? I'll make it quick, I swear to God. So the other night, I come home, and Jennifer is watching the Dora Explorer live action
I'm just gonna put the spotlight on him. It's okay.
She's watching the Dora Explorer live action movie. And
why is there a Dora the Explorer live action movie?
There just is.
Can I just tell you, when I was doing animation for Cartoon Network,
yeah,
and well, for Primal, Dora the Explorer was one of the things I got to animate, even though it's not Cartoon Network. Yeah. And I hated every minute of having to animate that thing.
Well, I'm watching this live action movie, and it's near the end. We're like maybe 20 minutes left in the movie, and we're watching it, and I'm looking at this young lady playing Dora the Explorer, and I'm like, since when does Dora the Explorer have boobs? Because she does. And I turned to my wife and I said, I feel really guilty right now watching this. So I had to go IMDb her to find out how old she was when this movie was being made.
So you could just make sure that staring at her boobs was okay?
She was 18 when the movie was made. So I was like, oh, thank goodness. But you know what other movie? Everybody. Do you know what other movie?
Have a good night.
Do you know what other movie? Do you know what other movie she was in recently? Just so happens
Drew needed her dirty backpack.
She was also in a movie with Sydney Sweeney.
Oh,
she was in Madam Web. She played Aranya.
Really?
The same girl who played Dora the Explorer in the live-action Dora the Explorer movie played Aranya in the Madam Web movie.
That's actually
she played one of the Spider Women.
She played one of the Spider Women. That's right.
That's actually okay. That is rather interesting.
And I was feeling really guilty watching Dora the Explorer and noticing how well endowed the young lady is. I know. It's something all fathers would know immediately watching that movie.
Or Andrew the Explorer.
What?
You're exploring Dora.
Ooh, it's not good. Did you see this FBI?
70s music in the background. Swiper, no swipey.
Oh.
Good night, everybody.
What about the FBI?
It's been a good show.
Wait.
Who have they murdered now?
We just bridged from Andrew talking about how he was staring at Dora the Explorer's breasts to the FBI.
FBI warning? Curious. Well, probably needed. No, sorry, I just saw this. Literally just saw this.
Okay.
FBI issues an alert on cryptocurrency money services businesses, basically saying do not conduct with any crypto service that does not do KYC or AML, which means your non-custodial wallets like MetaMask, Uniswap, whatever, because it could be sourced illegally, you could get in trouble too. They're trying to go against anything with privacy, anything self-custody. Really not cool.
God, I hate these people so much, dude.
It's really not cool. They're like, if you're on the MSB registered search webpage, blah, 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 blah.
Do they give examples of whatever the fuck they're talking about?
No, they're trying to say that if you conduct crypto, it needs to be like not peer-to-peer, because unless you have a money transmitting license, an MTL, or just like the banks have, or the big exchanges, right? They have MTLs, and MTLs differ from state to state. It's not like a national thing. Even the requirements for acquiring an MTL are different in every state. But MTLs registered with FinCEN. It's got all the KYC, blah, 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 blah. So basically, this is like a shot across the bow at consumers really trying to use crypto. They're trying to scare people into just not using it because they're not going to nowhere to go, right? How many like Binance US has it, right? Kraken's got it. Why can't we have nice things? Yeah, I know, it's bullshit.
Well, it's also, I also saw they're trying to, with the government right now, not to get too off track here, but the government's trying to propose correct my specific number, guys, but it was, I think, 45% tax on unrealized capital gains.
Oh,
no,
unrealized.
25%.
25 on unrealized, 45 on capital gains.
Yep.
So for Dusty, who lives in California, if the capital gains tax is 45% federal, that on top of state means that Californians are going to be paying 59% cap gains plus a 25% on unrealized cap gains. Like, how do you
what's unrealized?
Unrealized, Avery, is let's say you put in $100 into Apple stock, into Tesla, whatever. Okay. And that $100 is the stock goes up and it's now worth $500. You don't take your money out because you're like, I'm a long-term investor. I'm going to keep my money in. The government is going to tax you on that $500 like you have it.
Well, that's what they'd like to do. Yeah.
That's what taxing on, meaning you're just going to pay the government. Now, what happens when the stock falls in price, right? You pay, Tesla stock goes up to your $100 in Tesla stock is now worth $500 in Tesla stock. You get taxed on that $500, even though you might not have the money because you didn't cash out. You don't have the money, right? And then, so you've paid the Uncle Sam on that $500, and then that Tesla stock falls to $150. So you've just, now what happens? Do you get your money back from the government? Well, of course not.
Yeah.
What happens?
What piece of shit's proposing this?
The government.
But who?
No, not going there.
No, the government.
Oh, I can guess who.
No, I'm not going
the
there.
government.
I'm trying.
The typical robber barons.
Yes, I'm trying not to get super political. I'm just making a crypto.
Oh, it's easy to figure. It's easy to figure out. We're going to tax you on money you don't have.
Exactly. They're taxing you on money you absolutely don't have.
This is what she looked like in Dora the Explorer.
This is cute.
And this is what she looked like for Madame Web.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And she was also in Transformers: The Last Night. She was the young girl. She was Mark
Who is
Wahlberg's
this?
daughter. Isabella.
Oh.
Merced, whatever.
If she looked like this in Dora the Explorer, I might watch Dora the Explorer.
Well, that's what she looked like in Dora the Explorer.
I understand that. I'm just saying. I want to see the sequel, Exploring Dora.
Exploring Dora Mora.
You know what? I would be worried, but we're already all on FBI watch lists. So
I'm sure we are. I'm sure we are.
Oh no, they have a portal that's come out in the new for keep. If you have wrong opinions, they they put you on a watch list no matter what.
Everybody has a wrong opinion somewhere.
I'm contractually obligated to be here, so I don't really have a choice.
So Doc, can you send me that link, man? I would love to read about that.
It's all over Twitter. Yeah, I mean,
it's a
lot of screenshots of the actual release, but yeah, it's like I'm trying to find an actual.
Is it a law they've passed, or they're just spreading BS propaganda?
It's an FBI notice. They just took down these U.S. guys that ran a privacy mixer.
I saw that. Isn't it just
way back?
What was that exactly?
It's just it's whatever, but it was just like the soft lead into doing this, right? They can't control this technology. They can't control cryptocurrency, so they will scare you into not using it. That's all they can do. Yeah. That's all they can do, right? And they're even saying to expect losses if you wind up in some part of a bigger investigation. So they just sent a Wells notice to Uniswap a couple weeks ago, right?
Oh my God, dude.
So if they're going to say, oh, Uniswap's, they're an American company, or I don't know where they're actually headquartered, but their executives are American, and you guys have been operating as an unlicensed money transmitter, that means that every single user and every single wallet are now illegally transferring or, moving funds. We're going to freeze all of that. Or try to, right? Or we're going to track it. If you try to cash out in fiat off ramp, right? But I did some trading on a DEX, that money's going to get hung up, right? Expect losses. Not pretty. It's not pretty at all.
So are we going to have to transfer to something else instead of MetaMask? Or?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they're going after MetaMask too. So MetaMask and Uniswap, they're also trying to go after. They don't want you to have private wallets, right? They want you to have an exchange wallet where you have to KYC and they know exactly how much money is going in and out of it.
Yeah, they want to know everything.
Because they can't figure out how to look, they're losing money on taxes. Of course they know that, right? Because people have 15 different wallets that they're doing stuff on. You've got the one that you get paid on, and that's the stuff I off-ramp with. I mean, theoretically in Minecraft, right? I don't know. Move somewhere else if you want to be in this industry. It's fucked up, man, because
it really is, man.
It's so screwed up. This industry has the potential to be so transformative, and look, just the other day, the Japanese yen is literally 0 against Bitcoin, to the 7th decimal point, right, in value. The whole fiat collapse is happening, man. They can't stop printing money, so they have to kill the one thing that people are trying to flee to.
Yeah, it's really sad, man. It's really dark too. It's
they're accusing MetaMask as acting as an unlicensed broker dealer. Yeah.
Everyone is guilty, man. Everybody's guilty of everything. They're going to make everyone a criminal because they've done so much damage. They've done so much damage to the stuff that people are starting to nope out.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is it's not even. They can't do anything because
they can't do shit. They can't shut it down. It's impossible.
Yeah. It's not, that's just right. Worst case scenario, let's get rid of all the ones in the United States. Then we're just gonna use Chinese stable coins.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go away. And these people.
Hey, but Stripe just announced they're gonna have stable coins that they can do through their payment system.
They don't seem to be worried about the FBI.
No, of course not. Because, that's what they're trying to do. Stripe, you got a KYC for, right? They're going to make it only to the things that even Twitter spent the last year or so getting MTL licenses for different states because they want to become like the every app, right?
That's right.
Even if not for crypto, just for general, making payments and things like that.
That's right.
So they don't want you to peer-to-peer exchange trustlessly. They don't want that part of crypto to be there. You can have crypto, but only if you use, your license and everything's, whatever, so they can see how much money you're actually putting through there.
Yeah.
It ain't cool.
I want to ask some questions off air.
Yeah, all right. For sure. Yeah, I just, I'm hopeful that things will get better. I mean, and if not, we'll all be in Dubai. So
somewhere, man. I mean, it
really is. It's just getting scary, man. I just want to make really cool shit,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with MetaMask is that it's not a broker nor a dealer. It's just a piece of software to access basically a contract, your wallet, your holdings.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It just displays what you have. You can initiate transfers from there, but it's not doing any brokering. It's just executing a piece of code. It is completely unbiased. There's nothing to it. I guess they do. You can swap in MetaMask though, and they do take fees. So that could be part of that. They wanted to get in on that action, so they put swaps and bridges in MetaMask. So they do take a small fee there for like doing X aggregation.
Yeah, MK says SEC will lean on ETH, then eventually capitulate to allow spot ETFs for ETH. SEC playing a long con or game because they are behind and playing catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. And,
but then there's some shit about Gensler that I read the other day too. I can't remember what it was. People are saying that he was doing some. Well, of course he's doing some dirty shit, but.
So the issue with MetaMask is that they allow for market swaps.
Well, they do. Yeah, it's not just the wallet. They have DEX aggregation, so you can swap inside of MetaMask because they wanted some of those juicy swaps, and because it's for lazy people like me, I do it all the time. So I'm like, why go somewhere else? I'll pay the extra 0.01% and just do it right here, right? Or bridge or whatever, So they do, I guess, act as that. It's like 1inch is a DEX aggregator. People in the U.S. can't use 1inch anymore.
Right.
I know people who are involved with like Houdini Swap, which is a privacy DEX aggregator where you can switch on or off to route your transactions through Monero, which is a privacy chain. So it would use a centralized exchange, order books. It's all decentralized, but on the back end, you basically buy Monero and then you sell it for the currency you want, and then it drops it back in your wallet. And it breaks the like chain, the trackable chain of custody on the ledger.
Right.
Yeah, SEC's being sued. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be, and they deserve to be. And I hope they end up capitulating. I hope eventually we can get these guys to fucking break because they're really evil. I don't know, man. Like the older I get, like the more I'm just like, wow, like I mean, you grow up Jewish, that there's a lot of evil people in the world, but man, there's some really fucking evil people.
There's some really evil people in the world.
The
thing is with crypto, it's the only currency or only store of value you can take with you anywhere that doesn't require anything except for you knowing 12 words in your head. Right? That's all you need. But if they sit there and say that the software that you use to access those 12 words is illegal, then that kind of nullifies the whole idea, right?
Right. Well, that's why
what they want to do.
I still don't totally understand why. I still don't totally understand how the swapping, the mixers are like. I understand the fear of like being able to like embezzle money and all that kind of stuff, and that's a legitimate concern. But the software itself is not illegal. Like I really don't understand
is
that.
not illegal.
Yeah.
Intent is illegal. Like your intent as a user. If my intent is to do something illegal,
but they
that's the
arrested the founders. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Crazy.
Hey man, you can go into a shop in whatever state and steal up to $900 worth of shit and not get in trouble.
$1,000. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. That's totally legal. But if I want to have a private wallet, that's a problem. You just need to be public about your stuff. MK says critical mass touched on exactly this when they did the DAO and the DEX in space. Thought it was cleverly written. Yeah. What was that? The critical mass, they did a DAO and DEX in space? I didn't know that. What was that? I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I know. I need to know as well.
Yeah. Well, you probably got faster fingers than I do on this.
Well, I see critical mass is a marketing agent. What's critical mass to begin with?
Oh, Daniel Suarez's book.
Okay.
Delta V, then critical mass is the sequel. Oh, I see.
Okay.
The book is cleverly written. Got it.
I see. It's interesting. I'll check that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that because I want to look at that. Awesome. Always looking for good new books. Oh
yeah, sorry to end it on a downer.
No, it's not. There's no downer. Well, yeah, thanks.
I mean, it deeply affects
Doc.
everything we're trying to do, though.
Thanks, Doc. Jeez, God,
it's scary, man.
No, but it's good. It's important. You know what I mean? Like these are the kind of things we have to deal with. And you have the one side where we're just working on creations and doing all the stuff that we want to do. But the other side is that we're also on the cutting edge, and we deal with money, and because we deal with money, these people just like are people don't want to. People really hate it when you pull money out of the system.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's gonna affect. I mean, even like issuing tokens.
Oh, there's MK. He says, now let's end on talking shit coins and straight up degen stuff.
Hey, bud, what's going on? You at the office? No.
Okay.
Huh? What?
Zach was on the call or something.
I really do think Sydney Sweetie's going to have a really good porn career when she eventually breaks in.
Stop.
Who is this person? I don't even know who it is.
Share a picture.
She's an actress.
Share a picture. She's like some blonde with a decent body, I guess, but I don't know. I'm old. You've seen one. You've seen them all.
She's an actress. She's popular right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Culturally relevant.
I guess. I see her. She's all right.
You sharing it? No. Andrew,
I see her.
No,
I got her up here.
Oh.
Not my type. All right, though.
Not nearly my type either, but I'm appreciating some things. So. All right, we wrapping up? What are we doing?
We are wrapping up.
Wrap it up.
I'm looking for shit coins, and I'm just finding more news. That's probably just Twitter, news. I just don't want to do. But anyway, fantastic call, fantastic lore games. We covered a lot of stuff. This is good, and thank you guys. I think I got some really good ideas. We talked a lot about production and what the kind of things we release, because all that stuff is coming up, man. He's a bastard. He's a wet moon. Hodl, just hodl. It's fine. Everything's good. Yeah, believe it, man. Like we're seeing so much stuff in the back end of this. It's like, oh my god, I could tell you.
When Moon would have been about 15 more seconds into that dancing clip when one of these dingle dorks fell over.
That's right. That's exactly what my pants fell down. Accidentally, of course. When Moon. Yeah, so that is, man, what a great evening. And I'm definitely going to think about, thank you everyone for the insight into some of the ideas on how to format our releases, because that is coming up, man. It's not going to be that long. We're moving on as soon as the WAGMI thing is wrapped up. So we're warmed up now. Yeah, we will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. MK says, night all, great laughs. Thank you. Chat tomorrow with Nerd Den. Glad to have you back. Absolutely. It was wonderful. Congratulations again to Andrew and his family.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep. Congrats.
We're gonna celebrate some more tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be here Thursday and Friday next week, by the way.
Even better. That sounds great.
I'll be on a cruise with my lovely wife, enjoying my vacation time.
I am glad. I'm sure
I will miss all of you.
I know you will. I know.
Great.
Well, in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, and love you all.
Same bat wing.
Same bat wing.
Oh no.
And with that.